Thank you so
How you
much,
doing?
first of all.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for reaching out.
yeah. Thank you so much for taking out the time for this thing. I know you will be having very packed schedule, but once again, thank you for coming. I've been basically going through your YouTube videos and your Instagram videos like back then, like the since when you first posted on these two platforms. So I just came across your photo where you were sitting beside that Arnold Schwarzenegger tile on the Hall of Fame walk. So how about you? Like, what are your views on Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, just a big fan, from the childhood. He was one of my inspirations for, well, yeah, healthy lifestyle and sport and athleticism and just, well, athleticism. Well, it's in bodybuilding way, but yeah, yeah. I just impressed with his personality. Well, and as far times go, he's not only athlete but just overall successful man. So I just looking up to him.
Okay. So was it like before, like you were into bodybuilding and then eventually you got into kettlebells?
No, I actually from the childhood I was in mixed martial arts. I
Okay,
started kickboxing age 7, and I was in well, I was in kickboxing for about maybe 3 years,
okay,
and then I switched to like different kind, which called a hand-to-hand combat,
okay,
uh, and I was doing it till well, all the way till the end of the high school till age 16.
okay,
So almost for 10 years, and then like last 2 years of high school, I start attending school gymnasium,
okay,
and yeah, just that probably was what I was 15. I think it was 1998.
okay,
So kind of that was the moment when, well, a few years earlier, well, I kind of watched this Terminator 2 Schwarzenegger movie, and I thought, okay, mixed martial art is good, but I want a little bit more muscles, and yeah, I start doing, just get familiar with the barbell work, squats,
okay,
bench.
okay. So then, what age were you that you started doing kettlebell seriously?
I always was doing sports seriously. Even on age 7, I was doing this mixed martial arts seriously, and
Okay,
kettlebell sport. Well, I started 1998, and well, I wanted to succeed, but well, I got your question. Well, I would say that the moment when I decided that that's my thing, and I will prioritize on it, and that's the sport I will do. That was 2001. That's when I decided that okay, I probably will stop doing mixed martial arts. I was doing also arm wrestling for a few years,
okay.
so I decided, okay, it's time for me to focus if I want to achieve something. So it was 2001.
2001. Okay. And I also came across your photo in which you were having a bike ride actually. You posted a photo with your bike. So are you into bike riding and on all things?
Oh yeah. Well, it's still more of a dream than reality because I don't have a bike of my own yet,
Okay.
and I'm renting once in a while. But yeah, one day I want to get the one. Well, I'm very specific. Well, again, it's uh, maybe even a bit silly, but the bikes that Terminator 2 was
Yeah.
riding, Harley Davidson Fat Boy, that's the
Uh-huh.
one I want.
Okay.
And
Every man wants that fat boy. Harley Davidson. So are you a car person or a bike person? Like broadly.
can you say it again?
Are you a car person or a bike person?
Ah, well, so far I'm a car person, and well, even I think when eventually I will get a bike. It's just I like machinery.
Machinery.
I like cars. I like bikes. At some point, I probably will be interested to maybe get a boat. It's just the way to I don't know, this wind in your face, just opportunity to move from point A to point B different ways, like planes. I don't know, will I make it that far? But it will be cool to learn how to operate the plane, a small plane. Yeah, I'm just very curious about it, and it's just different type of purposes. If you wants to go for some cool off-road,
Uh-huh.
well, you probably better have SUV, But if you have some pretty roads, by the ocean
Yeah.
with a nice warm weather, well, you really want to just sit on the bike and feel this wind in your face. So it's really hard for me to, like, if it will be a choice that I need to pick something one, only the bike or only the car. Well, probably the rationality will win, and I'll probably will go with the car.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
okay,
yeah, but even, well, of course, bike is way more fun. Mm.
okay, okay. I think so. You're very connected with the machinery part. Like as when I came on this question, your answer almost felt like a poem to my ears. Like the way you're saying, like the roads, pretty roads at the ocean sides.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so that brings me to my first question, lad. The list assigned to you. So, how was winning the first kettlebell sport championship to you?
Um, well, it's it was, well, it, uh, I'm when I trying to make a judgment of
Mhm.
well, whatever I've done, I'm trying to not go too hard on either side. I'm trying to avoid words easy,
Okay,
and I'm trying to avoid words hard
okay,
because I like to be you know solid, and confident, and even if I'm about to do something like really serious,
yeah,
I uh, I always taking my time to get ready for it.
okay,
So that's why um, this world championship, I really knew what I'm going for,
okay,
and I was just executing my plan.
okay,
Well, and you see in kettlebell sport that's a little bit easier, I think, to put yourself together because I wasn't going to win world championship. I was going to hit 90 reps of long cycle.
okay,
For me, basically, I was trying to not think about the world championship, and it was my own fight.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
saw only myself, and I was fighting myself, and I'm still doing it, and um, it's hard. Yeah,
yeah,
it was hard, but that was something I was willing to do, and I was really excited to make such achievement in terms of just a performance and result. I wasn't really worried, oh, will I win? I will take a second place. I just want to get my best performance in this particular exercise.
yes,
And when that my just approach, and when I really succeed in it, when I feel like I did my best, well, through my career, most of the time it was enough to be a champion as well.
okay. That's very nicely put. Basically, you were having a battle with yourself, and you're not focusing on the
Yeah,
world championships or anything that's
yeah,
happening in the room. You
yeah,
just
yeah.
wanted
So,
to
so
beat your yesterday self.
yeah, so that's why I would say that it was kind of, well, easy and hard at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same time because I haven't pressure of titles coming, and some title fight. I was just going for result.
Okay, okay, okay. And Dennis, how different was winning your 11th championship from your first? Because after the first, all the media would have came in, all the brands would have came in, all that fame thing that happens. People start to look up to you, and then there will be a community who will be hooting for you. Like they will be like their party will depend on your winning. So all those things get coming. Like already you said you don't focus on that all things, But what was the journey like, and how was the winning the title for the 11th time?
Uh, well, it's a continuation of a previous question, basically, and I think uh, yeah, that's the reason why I was able to last so long about in kettlebell sport, and actually I'm still doing it. That uh, I'm not really even counting
Mm-hmm.
uh, much because uh, I'm just trying to stay in the best shape I can, and long cycle, that's my thing. That's my favorite exercise, and I know what's my physical abilities are. I know that well, I've done 100 reps, 102 reps. Once I did 100 reps, but kind of, I always feel like 90 reps. That's a result that make me satisfied,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's by all means considered as the world level performance.
yeah,
And that's always was my goal to hit this number. And uh, it's a hard training routine, but that's what I'm enjoying. I mean, you working out in the top of your physical abilities. It's not only competitions. Competitions is just a withdrawal, but
okay,
uh, uh, you're making a preparation or foundation for these results through your everyday routines, through your every single workout. And the hardest times I'm having in the gym getting ready for competitions. Competitions itself, when you're in a great shape, it's still stressful. You feel a bit of adrenaline rush,
yeah,
but it's not the hardest workout. So that's why, like, if I will compare my first victory and last or any victories in between, I would say that physically they all was about same hard. Even result was slight different, but so is, you cannot always maintain exactly perfect shape. Sometimes your result, you feel a bit better, sometimes you feel a bit worse, and all of this victory, well, all of these performances was enough for me to win.
mm-hmm.
But I was working, well, I was putting exactly the same amount of effort to every single set, and I was always doing my best. But from mental perspective, well, of course, the first championship was a little bit more pressure, probably, too, because you know before the first world championship, you're not a world champion yet, and you think, okay, are you really capable of such achievement or not? And when it's the last one, I was pretty much complete
Okay,
athlete, satisfied with titles. I
mm-hmm.
haven't this pressure of prove something or have much of a mm, uh, yeah, titles or something. It just was, well, if we can say so, maybe like a little bit less responsibility of,
Okay,
the final result. So it's again just end up being a fight with yourself.
nice, nice, nice. Okay, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger, as you mentioned, do you look up, like when you were about to win your first championship or when you got into this sport, any specific kettlebell sport player you used to look up to? He was your idol, as
Well, that's a several people. Um, it's a complex, sport. Well, as any sport, and that's not only the way. Well, it's not about only about how strong you are, but your mental approach,
yeah,
how brave you are, and how beautiful your lifting looks like. Like aesthetic aspects of it, and well, one of the first inspirations, and actually the reason why I decided to be a professional kettlebell lifter, was Eduard Akhamenko. He
okay,
was, well, he basically was my idol. He was the first actual professional lifter whom I saw in person, and I was so impressed by his power and perfection that I feel like I really wants to, give a shot and looks like this man. So he was extraordinary kettlebell lifter. He's unfortunately passed in age 33 years old, cancer, not related to sport, big tragedy. We have our same coach,
Okay.
so so we basically was like a two kids for our coach, and when Eduard passed, so it was a big tragedy for my coach, and we miss him a lot. But he was extraordinary kettlebell lifter. So Eduard probably will be, I would say, like the strongest, the biggest person for me in terms of inspiration.
Okay.
But
Okay. 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 And what will be your top five, like since you have been doing it for so long, what will be your five advice for better performance in the kettlebell sport? Like some techniques or some other exercises which we can do.
well, if someone will decide to dedicate his life or part of his life to kettlebell sport and decided to give it a shot
Yeah.
and try to really achieve something, uh, it's important to have uh, a serious plan, complex plan. That's maybe can be as advice number one, and
Hmm.
then uh, it's important to understand that it's many factors are will affect your success, and it's actually often not up to you, but on people surrounding you, and of course a great coach. But again, well, I would say maybe the next advice will be to get into the strongest team possible,
Okay.
being accepted, and be able to work out with the strongest, baddest guys possible, because that will be the best inspiration for you. If you'll be able to touch and see already successful kettlebell lifters every single workout, that will give you way more confidence.
Okay.
So strong
Got it.
team and surroundings.
Okay.
Uh, the next advice will be, well, of course, if you will have coach, he probably will back up you with it. But if you'll do your own thinking, is technique is the one of the uh, first priorities when it comes to actual performance.
Yeah.
It's very important at the beginning to invest all your effort, and time to establish a very good well, understanding and well, ability to do lifting correctly. Not rushing for uh, heavy weights, but really establish a solid lifting skill, because that's what you will be using for the rest of your career.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, then the next one, mm, consistency.
Consistency.
Consistency is the key, and it doesn't. Well, I mean, of course, some of us have, I would say, a bit more talent, someone a bit less. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we all have, slight differences, but by all means, if you're consistent, you will be able to take the most from it. And if you'll be not consistent, it's opposite. You will be just wasting, your
Okay.
potential. So never skip the training. There's no excuse for you to skip the workout. You should always be at the gym. You should be always working out. It doesn't matter. It feels good. It feels bad. You're progressing. You're digressing. It doesn't matter. You just need to show up, and you just need to keep going and never give up, and just keep pushing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm. Well, what it was for? Well, and if give a one more advice, last advice. Well, stay humble. The moment you believe in your greatness will be the beginning of your end. It's a true for any sport and any athlete. And it's important to always, if you did a good performance, it's important to find something bad about it that needs to be worked on. If was a bad performance, it's important to find something good about it. So
Okay.
important to stay, down to earth, realistic, humble, grateful to people around you, because even you think it's your success, but it's success of people around you as well. They all, each athlete is a making of a team.
Yeah.
So that will help you to last longest in this
Okay.
sport.
That's very nicely put. That's very nicely put. Actually, I'm getting inspired from you even right now. And just giving you a little bit of insights. Like here, we also perform the kettlebell sport. I get coaching from Siddharth Sarpotdar. He's the kettlebell coach over here. And we have a WhatsApp group of over like 150 awesome participants in which every video you put on your Instagram, we are discussing about that. Someone will share on the your video on our group, and we like always have a word about like how better technique you perform. We always talk to each other like this man Dennis Vasilev, like he goes like a bullet, he goes like a gun, he goes like a machine. Like yeah, even before starting I texted you like, hey, I look up to you and I'm starting with my journey. That was the first text that sent to you, in which you replied. Thanks for that too. And also like we all have a like folder of downloaded videos from a YouTube channel, and here and there there is always a scope for betterment, and you should always look up to the good part. So you are the one who we discuss in our groups, like we 150 people here in India. We discuss about your training a lot, and we are inspired from you. There is also like some other athletes, and also a guy named Stephen Dogman. Even he posts very good videos about the informational videos on kettlebell.
Mhm.
Okay, so you
Stephanie, yeah, IKFM, right?
IKFM, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
So basically, these two, you and him, we discuss about you every day, every day, and like we always try like how little bit close we can come to your form, like the repetitions you hit. So like just giving you a scenario of here India, like you are an inspiration here, even here. So depending on my before question, that gets me to my another question. I've seen on your website that you talk something about the taping, the palm taping,
Hmm.
and also uniform which you wear with those a black color uniform which gives the body reading.
Uh,
So
mhm,
can you walk me through this? Like what are those
mhm.
exactly?
Well, this Athos suits, it was an experimental project, I believe. I'm not sure if guys still in the business,
Okay.
but basically that was their attempt to get a little bit more insight on the way our body functioning during the workouts. And that's a t-shirt, short sleeve, and compression pants
Okay.
above the knee, and they have a big amount of sensors. I believe like something like a 12 or 16 sensors
Okay.
uh, inside of this clothing, and well, the t-shirt covering biceps, triceps, deltoids, pectorals, laterals, um, ab- abdominals. I think they have an abdominals as well, and
Okay.
the shorts covering glutes, hamstrings, quads, and yeah, you basically when you do your workout, you turn on the app, and it's recording, well, scanning the muscle activity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
well, for me, what was interesting, well, or informative to see, uh, well, not only was the hardest working muscles,
Yeah.
let's say, performing long cycle, but also asymmetry, because these monitors, they give exact percentage of output, like every single muscle, and then compare, left side to the right side, and
Okay.
you just it's just a additional tool if you have a scientific approach to your workouts. you can see,
Okay.
ah,
Okay.
okay, you see my right hip, my right
Mm-hmm.
quad is weaker than my left, or my right triceps is stronger than my left, and um, like especially if you use them on the regular basis, while you can build some statistics,
Okay.
especially if you do some correction work, and let's say you're working on your asymmetries, you can see how well you're progressing or not.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that was this Athos suit and tapes. Yeah, it just uh, if you're doing a kettlebell sport, you probably also had a couple blisters,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
probably, and it's not something that we have every single workout. Like I'm working out 3 times a week, and I don't have any blisters, well, any open
Yeah. Yeah.
bubbles on my hand, but occasionally it might happen. The moments when you switch from one training cycle to another. Beginners,
Begin.
when you're doing your very first steps, when your technique is not solid yet, well, it happens. We might have blisters here and there, and when you have it. Uh, well, it's you have a dilemma. Okay, what to do? Should I skip workout? Because and it's kind of you feel like you feel strong and you feel all of the
Mm-hmm.
energy to go and train, but your palms hurt,
Yeah.
and that's kind of feels like not right to skip the workout just because of that. And okay, we're thinking, what can we do about it? We can put the gloves on, but if you put the gloves on, it will be too slippery, for your grip, and it's not allowed during the competitions. Some guys using like a glue,
Yeah.
skin
Yeah.
glue. Uh, but again, if I will share my personal experience, I don't like gloves because
Yeah.
actually even leather gloves they're not holding that well. They anyways can get torn and they're on your way. And then glue also, at least on my hands, doesn't stick that well. So I end up taping my hands, and
Okay.
I have several videos, and one when I'm using just a regular cotton roll tapes, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
basically do taping like similar to boxing, when it's not just a stripe of a tape, but it's a like thick
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
layers, so it will last for 10 minutes. But about a year ago, these guys, Wood and Dunn, reach out to me and say, "Hey, Dennis, do you want to test our product?" And I say, "Yeah, of course," because well, it's I would say something that's following activity on social
Yeah. Yeah.
medias, and once in a while, like companies reach out to me on Instagram, can you promote this? Maybe take a look on that. And honestly, I like I can do a good review or a test of something that I'm honestly interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't see something, it's not exactly a bad product, but just something I don't see sense in, I will not do that. But with tapes, I right away say, yeah, send me it. I'm really curious about it, and it was awesome. It's basically athletic tape,
Yeah.
but it's shaped for your palms, so it's a wider stripe, and it have like a 3 holes for fingers. So
Yes.
it's a well, it's easier to watch a video. Like if someone will be interested, then maybe we can add a link or something to our podcast. But yeah, it's basically taped perfectly on your palm, and adhesive is strong. It holds like I was working out with the tapes just to see how strong they are, and I was able to go through my whole long cycle workout in the
Okay.
tapes, and they're still there. So they really do the work, and I honestly like them a bit better than regular cotton tape because they're elastic.
Okay.
So you really don't feel them on your palms. It feels like just your own hand, but it protecting your skin. So yeah, good stuff.
Okay. 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 What one thing I observed while doing kettlebells was like when that kettlebells when we swing it, it many times it bangs on our forearms, the front part of our forearms. But I never seen you wearing those wrist support, basically
Wristbands.
yeah, wristband. We wear that wristband. So just like about you mentioned about the blister. So with good techniques, this the kettlebell bang on our forearms. Even that can be managed.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually it shouldn't bang that much. it's also maybe the things that you deal with at the beginning of your journey, but then as more you practice, as better you get in what's called a hand insertion. The way you slide your hand into the kettlebell window, and you're learning to make a quicker connection
Yeah, yeah.
of your forearm and the body of kettlebell. So this way there's no impact, and it's there's no bruises. Well, it's well, we probably I'm not sure we will do just audio podcast or video podcast, but like I've built a callus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here on the forearms, but that's just because of carrying the weight here. You know, it's even just when it's lying here. Well, there is some pressure, and through the years, I've
Yeah, yeah.
built like a callus, which well probably makes it a bit even more comfortable. But I never had problems with my forearms even from the very beginning. I don't remember myself wearing wristbands at any stage of my career.
Okay.
Although for beginners that's a very common to also maybe wear it for a first month or two till you're figuring out the hand insertion. But once you get it,
Yeah.
you will not feel need in it.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, what are your views on the Indian kettlebell sport evolution?
My vision of kettlebell sport in India.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I've been in India only once. It
Okay.
was which year was it? Maybe 2017. And I don't know if you know the person Parag
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mehta.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So we actually Parag he came to St. Petersburg when we were teaching a level 3 certification course. That's where I used to live before I moved to States. So that's how we've met in person with Parag. And then we also met on several competitions like World Championships of IUKL and build like a relationship. And well, then he invited me to teach in India. I think it was in Mumbai.
Okay, Mumbai,
So
Mumbai.
I had opportunity to meet Indian kettlebell lift as well, and by knowing Parag, he's well, I think well, at least in my like a personal experience, um, he was a really good kettlebell lifter, a good coach, a good understanding of a lifting technique, and well, he did pretty well in long cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and then. Like last 2 years was weird, was this pandemic, everyone sit on place. I haven't traveled international for several years, and well, but the good thing of it that I'm in touch a lot online with well my students and kettlebell friends, and just building a new relationships. And I'm still in touch with Anshu Travath, right?
Okay.
She's organizing competitions, and I can see a pretty good community, kettlebell lifters community. And well, and there's several kettlebell sport organizations. There's IKFFA, there's IKMF, IUKL, WKSF,
Yeah.
and I think that's all good for kettlebell sport. And as far as I know, that there's also in India like several communities. Some clubs or communities inclined to one organizations and other to another. But I think that's all part of process and development of a
Yes, yes, yes.
sport. And well, I see a huge potential in India. That's by all means that's a great country, and um, it's just a matter of time and experience. As more people will try, as
Yes.
more gemstones will be found,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm sure there's a lots of them in India. Someone we don't even know yet, humbly working out in his backyard or
Mm-hmm.
wherever. So of course that's important to advertise and organize as many competitions as possible and let as many people as possible try it.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of time when the first world champions will start to pop
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
up.
I
So
wish that day comes soon.
yeah, and also as far I can see that it's a good connection also. Well, Indian athletes they going to the world championships of IUKL and WKSL, but also participating in Asia Championship,
Yes.
right? Because even Anshu she hosted Asian Championship few times. So, and that's also a great experience exchange. I think that will be very good for sport. Well, for both India and like Asian countries like Philippines, Taiwan, China. So it's important also. Well, first of all, it's like you focus on your situation within the country, but then your closest neighbors.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's important to stay active. That's if I may give any advice on this matter, then I would say that it's important for Indian guys to travel as much as possible overseas
Okay.
to share the experience, to learn something, to teach something, see other lifters, different techniques, different athletes, because all this experience will be very useful for future success.
Okay, okay, okay. And coming back to the taping and the accessories part, I also saw many of your video in which you mentioned about the correct chalking technique. How much that chalking technique is important?
Well, it has something to do with the way we handle sweat during the
Okay,
workouts, and
okay,
it is quite a how to say, individual uh, aspect because some of the guys sweat more, some of the guys sweat less, and it's also related like to palms.
okay.
In some people, they naturally have a dry palms. Doesn't matter how hard they work, and for these people, the chalk is not that important. They find to either lift without chalk or use it just a little bit. But the guys who sweat a lot, and hands get sweat and handles get slippery. Chalk
Yeah,
is very important, and it's just can be a game changer if you know how properly apply chalk on the handle.
okay,
And yeah, and myself, I'm kind of lucky that I don't have much trouble with sweaty hands. It's pretty dry, and I'm using a chalk, but I'm not building like a thick coat of a chalk on the handle of kettlebell, just a thin light coat. But I'm chalk my hands a lot because well, I like them be really dry. So I'm not only chalking my palms, but I'm chalking, between fingers and the top of my palms and even a bit of a wrist.
okay,
Basically, from the middle of the wrist up, everything is white. I don't want to see any dot of skin. It should be all be covered in chalk,
okay,
and
okay.
that's kind of just give me not just a good sense of a
Grip.
grip and of a handle.
Okay, okay. Any specific shoes which will mention like this might help to do a little bit better with the sport?
Well, it's for sure, if we're talking about long cycle and jerk, should be weightlifting shoes.
Weightlifting shoes.
Well, it's particular kind of shoes that have flat soil.
Okay,
Usually it's a hard. It can be even well, a heel can be a wood or hard plastic, and
okay,
the heel is well, it's usually have some like a height, maybe a centimeter and a half, so that gives you kind of a good
elevation.
position, yeah, elevation, uh, and from there also it just personal preferences. Myself, I like the weightlifting shoes with the light toe because in kettlebell sport we're going on the tiptoe often,
Yeah.
and I'm looking for shoes that have a very soft toe, so there is no effort for you to bend the toe,
Okay.
because some lifting shoes they have a very stiff and thick, soil all
Yeah.
across, and it's almost impossible to bend it. You feel like you're fighting against the shoe, and yeah, that's not my choice. And well, for years and years, I was lifting in Adidas lifting shoes, and actually, you caught me right on time. I've just got this
Uh-huh.
TYR lifting shoes. I'm very excited to try them out. It's just the ones that have this like open wide toe,
Okay.
so they're
Okay.
not squeezing your toes.
Okay.
And well, it's also the bending easy, so I'm looking forward to check them out.
Okay.
TYR. If you're on Instagram following the Squat University,
Yeah, yeah, Scott University.
yeah. So there's the shoes these guys are promoting. So they're supposed to be like anatomically healthy and well, looks like a good quality. So we'll
Okay.
give them a shot. We'll break them in tomorrow. We'll see how it works.
Okay, okay. We'll be looking up for it. And lastly, I also saw a book in your name on the Amazon part. Like you have written a book about the how to lift the kettlebell sport. I think so. So can you just briefly walk me with the book? Like what are the key points you have mentioned in that book?
Oh yeah, well I'm actually right now uh, about to publish. It's actually second book was almost ready, the lifting technique.
Okay.
And this kettlebell sport mythology that on Amazon now.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my editor to send me a printing draft, and I hope I will publish it. Well, if not this week, then next week. It's now twice as big. It's now almost 100 pages,
Okay.
and I've upgraded all of the information there. Well, basically went even deeper into kettlebell sport programming, and so the book that's on sale now, kettlebell sport training methodology. Well, it stands for its name. I
Yeah, yeah.
basically break in the whole, well, it's called excuse me, tactical and strategical programming. So
Okay.
I'm explaining the basics, how you organize your training process, how you choose the weight of kettlebell, which exercise better to start with, long cycle, jerk, or snatch. And then I'm
Okay.
sharing the training programs ready to go. And while I'm explaining well, the best of my abilities, or how you can organize your own training process and how you can do your programming.
Okay, okay. Nice. So, like you said, you visited Mumbai, you visited India, so you would have lifted the bells over here too. So, do you think that the weather condition can also be a limiting factor or a little bit, a good factor for the kettlebell sport? The weather condition matters?
Oh yeah, a lot, a lot. Kettlebell sport is indoors
Yeah,
sport for sure, and if we're talking about like a perfect conditions, so temperature is important. I would say that about 20 degrees Celsius. That will be the best one. You don't want it to be too cold.
yeah,
You don't want it to be too hot. Like in the warm countries, well, like part of the India probably, or like Philippines. I had experience to compete Puerto Rico. If
yeah.
there is no air condition, it's death. It's just so hard. A child cannot help at all
Yeah,
because you're just sweating so hard. It's so hot. It's hard to breathe. Kettlebell handles get hot. They're
yeah,
so hot that they tearing your skin away. So yeah, well, of course, being a tough athlete, you should just face the challenge and go for it. And
yes,
as long as all of the other participants in the similar conditions, as if everyone's struggling with the heat or everyone's struggling with the cold, at least it's fair. But if we're talking about the conditions for extraordinary performance, well, then it should be indoors, with a stable temperature um, room. It's I don't know. I don't know anyone who hit any world record in extreme weather conditions.
yeah, yeah.
So it's usually the best results was achieved in the proper sport facilities.
Okay, okay, okay then. And like, what is a normal day of eating for you? Like, how does your diet start, and what do you follow throughout the day?
Uh, well, I don't have taboos or some you know, like products I don't eat. Well, I eat meat, I eat fish, uh, but I have just kind of, general approach, first of all, to quality of the food.
Okay,
I'm just trying to go, whichever it is it a dairy food, milk products, or it's or it's a vegetables, or it's a fruits. I'm just trying to go as fresh as possible,
Okay.
as organic as possible. I'm trying to not use any complicated products. If I read the ingredients and I don't understand the words, I will not buy this product. It's as simple as it is. As less ingredients, in the food you eat is better. And so just trying to use a healthy food that will not harm my body in general. No preservatives and things like that. But when it comes to supplements, like the way I'm organizing through the day, then my breakfasts are usually carbs and quite sweet. I like porridges,
Okay.
like oats or like a cornmeals or farina, semolina boiled in milk with fresh fruits, vegetables, some nuts.
Okay.
And
Okay.
evenings that's mostly proteins. So I can on the evenings that can be eggs, maybe fish, maybe white meat. Well, can go some vegetables to eat. And the midday, well, it's a kind of mix of both. It can be dishes, well, like rich on calories
Okay.
dishes. I don't mind to eat like a pasta maybe before workout. When I need
Oh,
all
oh.
the set carbs. So it's usually consist of some protein. It can be some meat and some side of I don't know, rice or potatoes or pasta. Well, fruits, vegetables. I'm speaking of a diet, kettlebell lifter diet.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd say is that you should worry. Well, yeah, I would say worry less about proteins, but more of vitamins and good carbs,
Okay.
because it's very lots of energy spendings during the kettlebell sport. And of course, we need proteins to recover after workouts, but that's not a dominant supplement. So
Okay.
you
Okay.
want to make sure that you have enough energy to perform your workout and again, a good carbs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cannot fulfill your carbs needs by desserts and sweets, but should be maybe a rice or well, I would say probably rice one of the best carb resources, like a clean carbs. Mm.
Okay. 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 Got it. So basically, if we one should focus on the ergogenic aids more than the recovery aids, uh, talking in the nutrition language. So more on vitamins and good carbs and some kind of protein too with it. It's like what briefly you will say.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Dennis, let me just scroll in the questions I've mentioned. It will just like take some 10 to 15 minutes more of you. You have that much time, right?
All good.
Yeah,
All good
yeah,
with it.
yeah. So I also see some of the videos on Instagram where your daughter has come into your gym, and you both are doing the your workout together. You're having a fun time with her too. So how is Dennis Vasilev except kettlebell sport? Like, what is the your leisure time? Like, one is your bike ride that I got to know, and I also saw your video in which you are in a water park enjoying your water slides. Okay. So how do you take a break from the sport?
Well, I do not seek or for break because I really enjoy the process, and well, it maybe will be a compliment to
Hmm.
myself, but seems like I'm doing a pretty good job programming the training process, so it's not exhaust me, it's not harming me. I don't feel like broken, after
Okay,
workouts or
okay,
after
okay.
competitions or unrecovered. I kind of in my training routine, the ones that I have now for like last 15 years, and I just stick with it, and I just find my comfort in it. And actually, in fact, I feel kind of lost when I don't have workouts.
Oh,
So that's why I really kind of just enjoying my training process. But it's not that extreme. I'm working out 3 times a week only.
okay.
I'm doing Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. and then Sunday is weekend day. So we spend time with my wife, and I like a sightseeing a lot.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I like California so much is because of its nature. It's so different. I love ocean.
Yeah,
Ocean
yeah.
is for sure taking a big part of my heart. I just like to stare on the ocean, just read a book by the ocean, stroll by the ocean. I know have a fire by the ocean. I just really just mesmerized by all these waves and especially like you know, because well, I grew up actually on the Baltic Sea, which is like very like smaller and
Okay.
less how say nature or animals you can see. But here in Pacific, it's so common to see seals and sea lions. I know you can go for whale watch. That's one of my dreams to go for a shark watch. I want to
Oh,
see a
oh.
great white sharks. I never saw them in real, but I also fascinated by this amazing animals. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing on my free time, just trying to do some outdoors. I like camping. Well, I'm not doing it too often, but when it's opportunity, I'm enjoying it a lot.
Okay.
Uh,
And
yeah.
how much do you think like a good amount of sleep matters in the lifting, and how much hours sleep do you get every?
It's a crucial importance. No any energy drink, no any uh, supplements will replace you a good night of sleep. Is again, if you're taking the training process seriously, you must sleep, 8 9 hours
Okay.
uh, a night. That's how you will just feel. Well, it's not only your physical strength, but it's also your brain.
Yeah.
You're able to focus better. You think quicker when you sleep enough, and opposite when you're sleeping not enough. Besides being sleepy and weak, you also have troubles to concentrate. And you're trying to maybe catch up with coffee or I don't know some energy drinks, but it's just it's never will work as well as a good night of sleep. So. Most of the nights I'm giving myself 9 hours.
Okay.
But it also depends on importance of your current workouts because let's say preparation to competitions is about like 2.5 months long. And when you're at the very beginning of preparation, competitions is far away, workout is fairly light.
Yeah.
And well, that's the times that you feel okay, maybe I can allow myself maybe short night of sleep and do just catch up with the work because you know that it's not too tough of a workout. But as hard the workouts get,
Yeah.
as more discipline I put in my sleep. And
Okay.
when I know
Okay.
that competitions is close, there is no excuse. Doesn't matter what's going on around. I'm just going to bed and I'm setting alarm and I'm giving myself 9 hours to sleep because I
Okay.
know that that's what I need to unfold my full potential. So
Okay.
that's for sure. That's the well, it's a hard maybe thing to organize, but simplest effort you can do to improve your performance.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
just make sure that you sleep enough, and you will see that everything starts to work better. You know.
Okay. Okay. And lastly, your message to the upcoming champions, like what will you tell to them?
Mhm. Uh, well, it's actually related to this five advices
Yeah.
I gave before. It's kind of this general principles um, of, uh, of sport performance. But wow, if we're talking about the future champions, the ones who really feel like they can achieve something is patience.
Patience.
It's not that fast. Well, I mean, yes, yes, it's for well, life starts flying fast. Here you go. I'll be 40 this year. It's crazy to imagine. It's seems like I was 20 just yesterday.
Oh,
But it, it's it takes a lot of time to achieve something serious, and doesn't matter how gifted or talented you are. For sure you will find some obstacles on your way, that something will not go that perfect, as you want to, and you just don't shouldn't um, how to say, take it personal or get frustrated. It's all part of the process,
yeah,
and
yeah.
with patience, just keep working till the victory. It's don't calculate the time. It's there's no deadline really that you
Okay.
mark. Oh, in 2 years I must be world champion. Well, it's maybe you will, but maybe you're not. And even if you're not, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. It just means that you need to keep working. Keep working more, and uh, don't be scared to lose.
Yeah,
Anyone can win. Anyone can handle the victory, but not everyone can handle the loss. And that's what makes you a champion, actually. To not have a fear of losing and just going into the fight, because you're going to learn something, and to learn something about yourself, about the sport, about the opponents, and that's what makes you better. It's there is no such thing as a bad experience. It's always a good experience, and actually you all usually learn way more from the losses than from victories. So
yeah,
it's all part of the process, and that's totally okay to lose occasionally. Well, as long as you're giving your best shot,
yeah,
it's you keep trying, and well, maybe at the beginning, there will be some people who stronger than you, but as long as it was a fair fight, respect them, shake their hands, and keep going. And if you will be keep working hard, well, you get your goal at some point.
okay, 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 okay. And if you had a magic wand in your hand, what would you do for the kettlebell sport world?
Well, you see, I always was standing for honest sport. I don't like to cheat.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure that. I mean, I even, never kind of, have such approach. If something needs to be done, I'm just getting ready for really hard work. I'm not imagining, expecting the miracles. Um well, with the magic wand, I wish we all have more sympathy to each other,
oh,
and it's not only, and it's actually it's at least related to individual kettlebell lifters, but more to
oh,
organizers and leaders. And what I'm well, trying to work on, and actually I feel like it's one of my missions to build international relationships, well, and peace, as simple as it sounds, as the main purpose why I organize the Kettlebell War League, because I feel myself as the person who uh, can try, you know, to help other guys find friends,
yeah, yeah,
in this kettlebell sport, or help to solve some issues, because there's always a problems around us, but it's important to work on it, but not get mad, upset, or angry. And well, it's a true for any sports, that there's always some fights and conflicts between organizations. And actually, I must say that we are doing much better last decade in kettlebell sport, and I can see lots of cooperation across the organizations, and that makes me really happy. And I just wish that we'll be keep following, this um, this, and just have show more and more support to each other, and That's how we'll grow a really strong and beautiful sport.
Okay, okay, okay. And as you mentioned, like that shoe brand or so that chalk and taping brand, the people approach you with different products, and as you're like been like winning the championship and all, whenever someone thinks of taking a sport as his career option, one always gets stuck on the question like how much money can the sport make to someone. So, any inputs on that, like how good career can we have as a kettlebell lifter?
Well, that's a tough one because yet there is no money in kettlebell sport, and I'm making a living by coaching, not lifting.
Yeah.
I haven't made money by my victories. Well, it was several competitions where I was somewhat good prizes, but not enough to make a living. And well, depends on the country as well, because in Russia that's kind of official sport, and if you achieve a certain level, you might be hired as an athlete. So you
Okay.
basically, as long as you score, you will get paid. But it's also a humble
Mm.
amount of money, not a Hollywood standards, nothing fancy at all. Um, so again, most of the well, kettlebell lifters. Well, it's yeah. I don't think that it's so too many kettlebell lifters who's actually making a living of kettlebell sport, and many of them just have jobs
Okay.
not related to sport. And I think I'm one of very few who's 100% focused on kettlebell
Focus.
sport. And but again, I'm making a living by coaching and teaching, not lifting. And well, that's something that you know organizers or leaders, or I don't know, it's just some smart or I don't know genius
Mm-hmm.
guys who will sympathize to kettlebell sport, should come. And maybe it didn't happen yet because, well, I mean that's a business aspect.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the maybe the closest inspiration we can see is the CrossFit, where it's a fairly new sport, but it's just well organized. And kettlebell sport for sure, can be interesting sport to watch.
Yeah.
It can be a good show. It should be just well organized, and it should be the business formula needs to be created for this particular sport. And
Mm-hmm.
it just haven't done yet. And I hope that it will happen. And one day there will be such a leader or a businessman who will believe in this kettlebell sport and will wants to up it to the next level. And finally, maybe athletes will be able to become a true professionals who will
Yeah.
be able to just focus on lifting and make enough money by their performance, so they cannot worry about just everyday bills.
Yeah.
But so far, it's a tough choice because yeah, you just needs to work hard, and well, often what I can see is that uh, gym owners, that's the way to go. And like a coach,
Yeah.
kettlebell coach, he running a business, he have a gym which actually doing not kettlebell sport only, but other sports, which help him to pay his bills, his kettlebell sport bills. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That's it for the day. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for giving your valuable advices to me. And as you know, no one would have agreed to come for the podcast except you. You are so humble. You're so much like I already have a lot of respect for you, and right now it's just just skyrocketed. Like once you said, like no one would have come like on hearing that I have a zero subscriber. Will you please come? But you showed up. I'm very much thankful for that.
Well, you're welcome. Well, you see, it's like in sport. Everyone start, all of us start from zero.
Yeah.
I wasn't born as a champion. I was born just a, regular boy who had nothing, and just climbing up step by step. So you're making your first step. So I hope that's a good start for you. And well, I'm wishing you luck.
Yeah.
I'm wishing
Thank
you
you.
the best. Same principles, in any business as it's a sport in a podcast. So just if that's something you want to do, just don't give up.
Yes. Yes.
Keep trying, working hard. Looks great. I enjoy your podcast a lot. I enjoy your questions a lot. So if you ever want to talk to me again, I'll be happy to. But so far,
Yeah. Yeah.
wishing you luck, success, all the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Bye. Bye. Nice.
Yeah, have a nice day.
You
Yeah,
too, sir.
goodbye.
You too.